Hi everyone, welcome to this session on AI Blueprint for Lawyers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through this platform that I'm building. It's a completely free and open source project called as AI Blueprint. And it's been designed for lawyers and law firms. So I'm going to walk you through all the features and then, of course, answer all your questions. Now, one of the first things that I'd like to tell you is that this project runs in two ways. So one is you can run it only locally on one computer. So let's say you're an individual lawyer or for whatever reason you only want to do this on one computer, you can do that. Or you can run it across a network. So whether that's a law firm, it's your company, you can run it in a network and then of course you would log in. So as you can see in this example, it shows that I'm logged in as Rohas Nagpal. So now I'm running it in a network mode. Now, one of the first, and I would say the most interesting features would be the fact that you can add keys of whichever AI you want to use. So, AI Blueprint is not an AI. It is a method or a platform or an infrastructure for you to use all the different possible AI features in the world. So, step one is you're going to enter your API keys. So, if you prefer the ChatGPT family, OpenAI, you can enter the key here. You prefer using OpenRouter, Anthropic, Google Gemini, you name it. Whichever AI you want to use, you can just put the key here. And once you do that, you can go in the models and select which model of that AI you want to use. And of course, you can change it as many times as you want. So for example, here, if you decide that you want to use Anthropic, then it will show you all the latest models of Anthropic. And again, you can choose whichever one of these you want to use. For now, I'll leave it at Grok. Then you can set your max output and temperature. If you don't know what that means, just ignore it. Then you can select an embedding model and a model registry. Again, if you're very new to AI, all of this you can actually ignore. What you would need to fit in here is your RAG provider, and I'll explain to you why this is very important for lawyers. So if you feel that you do not want any of your documents to go outside your system, then you would choose local. So in this case, the RAG technology, which is used to, make a knowledge base of all your data, that can remain on your local system built into Blueprint. Or if you're okay with sending it out, then you can choose OpenAI. I hope this part is all clear. Now, once you've done that, there's an advanced configuration for RAG providers. You can ignore that. This becomes the next important thing. What all kind of documents do you want getting uploaded on your Blueprint? So you can pick and choose which ones you want and which ones you don't want. You can even set a max file limit and all. Once you've done that and you start to upload your documents, this is how it works. So you go to this add place and you are going to choose a workspace and your matter. So to give you an example, let's say if you are running a law firm, the My Workspace could be the name of your law firm. And then in that, for different clients, you could create different matters. So Mars Incorporated, if it's your client, you could create it as a matter. Or if you want, Mars could be the name of your workspace. And then under that client, if you have different things like a civil case, a criminal case, opinions to be given, those can then be called as matters. I hope this part is clear to all of you. Then you can simply drag and drop files here. They will immediately get uploaded to the RAG. You can also add a website URL here directly and click add URL, that can get added. Or you can browse and attach a folder. So if on your laptop there's a folder with hundreds of files, you just need to attach it here. And then you just press the sync button. All those files will get uploaded to your RAG. And whenever you delete anything from that folder, they will automatically click sync. They're gone from the RAG also. So this is one of the very core parts about how you can use the different documents. Once you've uploaded, then obviously you can view all the documents here. Now here you will see a feature called chat, which means if you want to have a chat only on that one document and you want AI to answer based only on the information in that document, you would click on the chat and chat with that document. Now, many times people say that AI hallucinates, sometimes gives you very realistic sounding fake information. When you chat with a document directly, the chances of hallucination are 0.001. I mean, it's still not 100% guaranteed, but 99.99% you know that it is not going to hallucinate. So that is what the meaning of this particular feature is. If you guys have questions, just keep putting them in the chat. So far, I hope it's all clear. Just give me a yes if it's all clear and you don't have any other questions as of now. Okay, great. Then we have a lot of other features one by one. Let me walk you through. There's a translate feature. So here, what it does is now you'll notice everywhere we have this workspace and your matter. Why this is there is because if you're working on multiple clients, documents and all, you want an audit of what is happening. So every work that has been done for a particular client will automatically get recorded. That's the reason in most places you will see this workspace and matter. So that helps you, months down the line also to know what all work was done for a client. Now, there are two ways in which you can get documents translated. One is you can paste the text. So whatever text it is, you paste here, or you can upload a document. And then you can select the input language or it can auto detect, and then you can choose the target language. So all the popular languages, including a lot of the Indian languages, are supported. This is very critical. What kind of document translation is happening? If it's legal, that's the default. Or is it a business document, a tech document, a medical document? You can choose that. Because sometimes even in when we talk about a legal case, there may be medical negligence. So it may be a medical document. So just choose what kind of document it is, and then it will instantly do the translation for you. And then you can download that in an HTML file. What is the system configuration required for local? Okay, so I use a MacBook Air, the regular kind of a laptop, and it runs perfectly fine in that. So Keshav, I think you run it on a Windows system. So the configuration to run your lag is not really high. Where the configuration can become an issue is if instead of using ChatGPT or Claude, you want to download the AI model on your system. In that case, you will need a higher configuration. I have not tried an AI model on my Mac because I've been told it will not work on that. So if you want to download the AI model, you will need a better system. How do we access this? This is completely free and open source, available on GitHub. I will share the link. Give me a second. I have in the past also shared the link, but let me just put it. In fact, on my screen, I don't know if you guys can see it, but you should be able to see the AI Blueprint GitHub page. I'm putting the link here. Right. So if you can see it here, so all the code is here, a little introduction is here, and here it's given about how to do it. So you can download this on Windows, Mac, Linux, server, anywhere that you want. You just have to run a git clone, and then these few commands which are given here, you just run them. The moment you're done with it, you can open it up on your browser with this URL. It'll run totally local, so nobody else in the world can see what you're doing on this. So that's enough. So what I'm showing right now on my screen is running locally on my laptop. Then there is an email, which is a very interesting feature. Suppose you want the AI to automatically reply to your emails. And of course, we are primarily talking about, let's say, legal emails here or whichever kind. What you can do is you can enter the settings here. So you just click here, enter your username, passwords, and other things. Then it'll keep picking up emails and creating the answers here, depending on the persona that you've set up. And I'll explain how that works. AI will not automatically send the email. It'll read it. It will create the reply and then wait for you. You can go and change, or you can click send and it'll go out. So even if you want to give legal opinions, it can create the whole thing for you and then you can click and send it. So that's a very, very interesting feature. And that runs on something known as personas, which is what I'm going to show you next. So let's take an example of a legal persona. Let's say that you want to do a contract review. Now, contract review, according to me, is one of the most fundamental AI legal use cases, because contracts by nature are not that confidential, but they are a very critical part. But it's not very difficult to get good reviews done through AI. So I would always recommend that's one of the best use cases to start. So there are two ways in which you can do contract review here. The first is this method called persona, where this is how it works. This is a very detailed system prompt that has been created telling the AI that whenever the user submits a contract and they want a detailed review, this is what you're supposed to do. So the whole thing is divided into 8 steps. And one of those steps is to look at every clause and make a list of these 41 different parameters. So all that you have to do to use it, let me show it to you, is you go to the chat, you enter in the document that you want, and here in this drop down, all the personas show, just select contract review. And here you can select document. So now it knows that the documents you uploaded are to be analyzed. And here you can see the result. So step 0, step 1, where all the 41 parameters come in. Let me scroll through. Step 2, step 3, all of this is now available to you. And you can, of course, at any given point of time, download this. Right on top of the screen, if you're seeing, there's a download button. There's a chatting, there's a search chats button. There's a logout button, and there's a dark mode or light mode kind of a button also available. So at any given point of time, you can very easily download what it has done. This is one way of reviewing contracts.
This
But
is one way
because
of reviewing contracts.
but because but because this is a very important use case, I've built a second way also in which you can do the contracts. Let me just show that to you. So this is a more detailed review where we are using the agentic system. So in the first example that I showed you, it's very basic, right? So because it is a basic way of doing it, one system prompt, upload your contract is done. But suppose you want to go deeper, then you do a AI agent review. Multiple AI agents will run, each of them tasked with a different responsibility. And then the kind of feedback or review it gives you is much, much deeper. So, I mean, I don't want to go into the details of it. You can just download and start using. I will do more sessions on this, but it does a much deeper job. Another very interesting feature is called counsels. So let's take an example that you are preparing for an arbitration. Now, in an arbitration, there are going to be lawyers from both sides. There is going to be a presiding judge. You can simulate that entire thing. You can upload the documents and then you can say simulate. It will first give all the arguments from one side, then from the other side, then a devil's advocate will fight with arguments on both sides, and finally you will get the output of the judge. So this is to help you prepare for arbitration simulations. So before you go for the actual arbitration, you have all the points here. What is it that the other side could say? What are the problems that the judge would have with what you're saying? And then you can make better arguments. I'm building more such templates where you can do it for litigation practice. You can use it for negotiations, mediations. All of that you will be able to do through this concept called as council of LLMs or councils of AI. I hope this part is clear. If you have questions, feel free to put them there. You can create blueprints, matters. We've discussed all this. Plugins is another very interesting thing, and I'm going to be building in more plugins here. So what a plugin does is it brings new features into it. So right now we've approved all the plugins, so it's not showing, but it'll show you all the different plugins that are available. So that contract reviewing detailed thing was also a plugin. You could choose, and then whichever ones you want to use, those become applicable to you. You can create workspaces, you can create matters under workspaces, and then you can also manage users. So suppose this is the network mode, you want to add more people in your organization or your law firm, one by one you can just go here, you can create their accounts, and then they can log in from their system and start using it. Now even on a home network this will run very well. So for example, on one laptop I am running this, other people in my house who are on the same LAN can hit my IP address, log in, and they can start using it. Very, very simple to set up. There's nothing very complex about it. If you don't like the appearance, you want to change the fonts, you want to change the name. If you don't want to call it AI Blueprint, you want to call it something else, even that you can do. So here you will see there's a app name and you can choose it. Like right now it's called AI Blueprint for Lawyers. You can put your own name if you want. Whatever. It's completely free and open source. So you can change whatever you want. If you want that on the main screen, some questions should show by default. You can even set the questions here. Well, so I've kind of explained to you almost all the features that are here. There's one thing I want you to understand, that whenever you are chatting with the AI, there are two ways, two things. One is you're chatting with documents, then click on the document. Or second is you're doing a general chat. So when you do a general chat, you are talking to the AI and the AI will use its inbuilt intelligence to answer your questions. When you choose documents, the AI will try to use only the documents to give you the reply. So you can expect about a 99% accuracy, no hallucination, because it's answering only based on your document, and you can upload as many as you want. When you say general, then it's the AI's general intelligence, so the risk of hallucination is higher. And in fact, when you are answering emails automatically, even there, you can choose which persona should answer the email. So if it is your law firm's marketing address, then the marketing persona can reply to emails. If it is the client related addresses where clients send it, it will answer from a legal expert point of view. So even that you can do very easily. Someone has a question. This is run on a cloud or laptop, but what happens if your laptop is stolen or deleted? Okay, so that's a very good question. As of right now, this is running on my laptop, but you can take this code and run it on any server. So, DigitalOcean, Amazon Web Service, AWS, Google Cloud, any of the clouds, you can also run it. It's a very simple Python-based application. So almost any server in the world can run that. Regarding your question about laptop getting stolen, Well, in that case, that's a good point. I don't really have in fact, I haven't thought about building this feature yet because most of the things are happening based on documents that you're uploading. So the presumption is you already have the laptop, the documents, and you are backing it up. But sure, there could be need for certain kinds of chats which could be backed up. I'll definitely add that feature in. That's a good point. Somebody else wants to know building a career that integrates AI. Could you please guide me on the skills? Practical. Okay, this is a very different question, so we'll have to do that in a separate session. Today is mainly about how lawyers can use AI like AI Blueprint to do their work. So nowadays, there is this concept. Sure. Nowadays, there is this concept of AI native law firms which is emerging. And in fact, very interestingly, the UK government or the UK relevant regulatory authority has given a license to an AI law firm, which means complete AI will be giving legal opinion. And they've actually been given a license to do that. In fact, two companies have so far gotten that. So the world is moving very fast into AI being used by lawyers. Claude is developing a lot of features. So a lot of people want to know that what exactly is AI Blueprint for? Why can't I just use Claude? Why can't I just use ChatGPT? So let me answer that question, right? When you're using, let's say you have a ChatGPT account, you are stuck with only ChatGPT. So you upload your documents, only ChatGPT's replies. But for certain things, Claude may be better. So you'll have to take another $20 account. Now, how much will you do? And how do you then make sure that one document goes through three AIs? Like I'm doing an arbitration run. I'll have to manually upload in 4 different places. So what Blueprint does is it gives you one interface and you can talk to every AI that you want. Just enter the keys and then decide which AI should answer what. 4 AI should answer your question, build a council. All of that is enabled by Blueprint. So that's what it is supposed to do. So Blueprint is not competing with anyone. We are in fact giving you the option to add keys of every LLM possible. So we don't compete with an LLM. We make it easier for you to use all the different AI which are there. Can we generate client-wise report? Yes, absolutely you can. So what work you have done for a client also is there. That is why when you're using it in the network mode, you are putting the workspace and the client name. And then everything you do for that client is getting recorded. So the audit trail also becomes very, very useful. More existential question. Will websites or apps like these, how can the lawyer still hold relevance? That's a very good question. Now, AI first hit the software developers world and a huge number of them have lost their jobs. AI's next use case is law. So Claude has said that after software, they see law as the biggest use case for AI use. Let me be very honest with you. It is going to hit a lot of lawyers negatively. So where today you needed 10 lawyers to do X amount of work, now one lawyer with an AI can actually do that. So those 9 guys are now going to be under grave risk. As of today, there are two options for you. One option is you stick to areas where you have more client interface because clients still want to talk to human beings. And that is not likely to change for a very long time. So if you are in litigation or you're in direct communication with clients, you're relatively safer. And the second, I would say a much better option is you become one of the first few to become AI native. So for example, there are two ways as a lawyer what you can do. Become an AI native lawyer, which means you can use AI very well in all legal work. Second option is go deeper, become a legal AI architect. Because in the future, whether you accept this or you believe this or not, I can assure you over the next 3 years, every single lawyer and law firm in the world is going to be using AI. Whether they openly declare that or not, they have to. So there is going to be the need to enable these law firms to become AI native or to become AI powered. Who is going to do this? So many features that I was talking about today. I said, if you don't know what it means, ignore it. But you're going to need lawyers who know what that means. How do we set up chunking, embedding, temperature? So many features are there. How do we add more features? So many new things will keep coming. MCPs will keep coming. APIs will need to be integrated. So if you like tech, become an AI architect, legal architect. If you don't like tech so much, become an AI native lawyer. The sooner you do that and then you go to a law firm, they are more likely to hire you. Just think about it. You're a fresher just stepping out of law college. One option is you know what every other fresher knows. Okay, all of you have studied the same laws. Why would they want to hire you? Second, you are a fresher who actually knows how to set up AI and use it for them. Obviously, you are going to be preferred. So I would recommend become the first few lawyers who actually becomes good at AI. It is coming for our careers. There's no doubt about it. AI is going to come for a lot of careers, and there's nothing we can do. We have to evolve. Kind of reminds me of the time when the coolies suddenly went out of business. A lot of coolies lost their work. Why? Because VIP started making suitcases with wheels on it. And suddenly a lot of people started dragging their own suitcases and they didn't need a coolie in a railway station. I'm not trying to compare lawyers with coolies. I'm giving you an example that how technology can completely disrupt a career overnight. AI is going to disrupt legal careers. We have to accept it. Let's just handle it better. Can we have practical sessions to check how? Absolutely, you can. So what I would recommend is, one is, of course, please download and try on your own. And second is, I will definitely be doing more sessions going deeper into each feature. So I'll definitely do that. Is there any chance of loss of data? Okay. So as of right now, I haven't built the export feature, but you can download every chat. Your core data is on your laptop. The system is not touching it. So that is not going anywhere. There is zero chance. That is why I have made sure that there is no feature in AI Blueprint which directly changes or edits your documents. No, it doesn't. You upload documents, they go straight to the RAG, which could be local or cloud, and then it works on it, but it will never touch your document. So your document cannot get unauthorized alteration. I've made sure of that. I understand how important that is. Do you know Mike OSS is open? Yes, I'm aware of Mike OSS, and there are a few others also like that. Thank you so much that you liked the look of AI Blueprint. You can have BitLocker security, sure. Can you do a session on Blueprint GitHub? I will definitely do that, sure. If there are other questions, please feel free to post them. And I'm also planning to take a couple of free master classes for you guys. In one of those master classes, I want to talk to you about what it means to be an AI native lawyer, what are the kind of skills you need. And then another one on a more in-depth topic, which is what it means to be a legal AI architect. So for example, when a firm hires you and you know how to use AI, that's step one. You're AI native. But if you can tell the firm that I can make the entire law firm AI powered, I can bring in all these features and constantly maintain them and improve them, that means you've become a legal AI architect. So that's a much more senior kind of a thing. That's a much deeper thing. And of course, even a law student could do that. Your background really doesn't matter too much. So I will do classes on both of these. But please take it from me, AI is coming for the legal career. So many developments are happening. Now just imagine in UK, which is otherwise quite conservative, two law firms don't have people. They have AI running. Almost anything that we can imagine today, AI is able to do. Yeah, it cannot go and litigate for us yet. But I am sure a time will come in the future where AI will even pass judgment. And China has already started with that. And not just in civil cases, even in bail hearings. And some kind of criminal cases, they are already experimenting with AI giving the judgment. In fact, here I have a question for you. Suppose we think about Section 138 cases. Negotiable instrument, someone has bounced a check. Do you think an AI can be a good judge for such cases? What's your opinion? Is that something AI can do, or you feel only a human can do? AI is a good, and I'll tell you why. Because 138 is pretty straightforward, right? There are certain criteria that need to be met. If the criteria are met, you violated 138, otherwise you haven't. That's very easy to program in. The judge doesn't really need to do anything else. You need the human judge when there is that judgment to be exercised, where beyond reasonable doubt has to be proven. But 138 isn't like that. 138 is reasonably straightforward. If the criteria is met, it's there. So soon we will see experiments like this in other countries, and we will see some kind of cases going to AI. And now imagine if AI is going to be the judge and AI is going to argue, what is the human being going to do in that? So we have to quickly start adapting to this. Please don't sleep over this. Take it extremely seriously. You have to get into AI. AI can help to provide better judgment, but definitely with human to rectify and recheck the. So in some cases, yes. I mean, I'm not saying AI will come into and become a judge in all cases. In certain kinds of cases, definitely it would. And yes, there would be need for humans, but the number of humans needed goes down. So where today you need 100 lawyers, imagine 10 lawyers will be able to do that work. So 10 lawyers plus AI is equal to 100 lawyers of today. What happens to those 90 guys? That is, you don't want to be amongst the 90. You have to be amongst the 10. Anything else? Any other questions you guys have? Please feel free to put it in the chat. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes more. And I will definitely plan out these sessions very soon, and I will put that on the group. I hope all of you are part of that group. The cross-examination is recorded by magistrate. Question of probability needs to be examined. It can reduce and expedite the judgment process, but also has to be examined by judge before delivering. Sure. So in fact, in litigation, where I feel AI helps today is to do the prep. So suppose you are going to do a cross-examination. How do you practice that? So AI could be told that this is the case and now you are the witness or you are the accused or whatever. I am now going to argue and you are going to, give me feedback on how I'm doing it. So as of today, I think AI is very good for preparing you for prep for arbitration, mediation, conciliation, and litigation. It's not replacing you there. It can help you prepare very well. Can we run this on an iPad? That's a very good question, and I'm not sure of the answer. Haven't thought about that, so let me figure that out. Keshav, if you're on the call and you have an answer, can you just put that in the chat? Otherwise, I'll look this up and tell you. I have not tried it on an iPad yet. Please start a course on AI architect. Definitely. So what I'm planning to do is let me first give you guys a free masterclass where I'll tell you what it means and what is it that you need to do. My schedule is really busy, so I'm not able to plan out an entire course, but I definitely will guide you guys about how to go about it. And I think bare minimum, you need to become AI native. If possible, you need to be AI architects. Over the next 2-3 years, every firm is going to need this. So why shouldn't you be the one giving this service? Now, a lot of people say that do we need to be lawyers to be AI architects, legal architects? I would say yes, it would help because the tech person will understand the tech very well, but he doesn't understand anything about law. He doesn't know what a contract is. He doesn't understand what litigation versus arbitration is. So for a non-lawyer, building these systems or integrating into law firms is actually very difficult. But for a lawyer to learn the basic tech is very easy. For a tech guy to learn law is very difficult. For a lawyer to learn tech is very easy in comparison. So you have this advantage. Don't lose out. About the iPad question, thanks Keshav. He says that iPad is not natively supported at this stage. But if you host it on a server or other laptop in the same network, then iPad can connect. So in that case, it's running on a laptop in your network. Your iPad through the browser is able to access. Because you have to run this only on one system. In other systems, it will run directly in the browser. So that's how you can set it up if you want to do it as an iPad. But you will need one laptop or system. Any other questions? Okay. So if there are no other questions, then that's the session for today. It was great speaking to all of you. And I will plan out more sessions. And I hope to see you guys in there. And be a part of the group. Invite your friends also. See you. Bye-bye.